Tonight on Beyond the Headlines, Osun State is at the center of one of Nigeria's most complex constitutional standoffs. A coalition of court judgments, political authority, and billions of naira meant for grassroots governance. On one side, the Osun State House of Assembly is raising the alarm, alleging that over 50 billion naira in local government funds is being diverted through what it calls illegal APC chairmen, allegedly with the involvement of former governor and current Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Boyega Oyetola, and a commercial bank. The Assembly insists that payments have been made to political office holders while local government workers, teachers, nurses, and civil servants remain unpaid, and it warns that criminal liability may follow. On the other side, the APC and former governor, Oyetola, have flatly rejected these claims, describing them as fabricated propaganda. They argue that the Supreme Court's July 11, 2024 judgment guarantees full financial autonomy for local governments and that the February 10, 2025 Court of Appeal ruling lawfully reinstated APC chairman whose tenure they insist remains valid. They accuse the Osun State government of attempting to claw back control of local government funds through politics rather than courts. So tonight we ask some very important questions. Who truly controls local government funds in Osun State today? Which court judgment takes precedence? And are public funds being protected or politicized? Joining me tonight are two key voices at the center of this debate. Kolapo Alimi is the Commissioner for Information and Public Engagement in Osun State. Also with us is Adegoke Ogushola, legal advisor of the All Progressives Congress APC in Osun State. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for this opportunity.
Glad to have you join us. I believe that's the Honorable Commissioner who will connect with the other guest shortly. It's a very sensitive constitutional and legal matter with strong opinions on both sides. Our focus tonight, however, is on the facts, court decisions, and their implications for governance and ordinary people. So I'm going to ensure that both of you get equal time, and I may step in if we drift away from the issue so we can keep this conversation focused and also useful for the viewing public. Honorable Commissioner, let me begin with you. The Osun State Assembly has made very weighty claims here, naming of figures, banks and individuals, including an alleged plan to divert 50 billion naira. Walk us through exactly the evidence before the Assembly that these funds were accessed or disbursed illegally.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. It is an open secret that the current local government in Bruglo in Osun State was created by the ousted governor, the former governor of Osun State, now Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Alhaji Boyega Oyetola. He conducted an illegal election, local government election, after he has lost the gubernatorial election in Osun in 2022 in flagrant disobedience to the Electoral Act, Section 28 and Section 150 Electoral Act. And that was the reason all the political parties at that time informed him and the State Independent Electoral Commission at that time that what they were about to do it was not in tandem with the provision of the law. And all the political parties boycotted that election. That was the reason they had to print a yes or no on the ballot paper. But however, they still went ahead to conduct the election. Two of the local government, two of the political parties, as at that time, People's Democratic Party and the Action People's Party, APP, they approached the Federal High Court to set aside that election. And on 25th November 2022, the Federal High Court delivered judgment, nullified the election. Another judgment was delivered on 30th November 2022. And so that trajectory continued from one court to another, most especially the APC people. They approached the Court of Appeal in relation to the PDP case. They got judgment on technical ground that the PDP had lost to court and that the originating summons was incompetent. However, the other case, APP case, 6 of 6, they went back to the Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal dismissed the appeal. Up to this moment, the case still subsists. And so what the House of Assembly is saying now is this. As we without considering the people have tenure, they told the Supreme Court that their tenure will come to an end by October 2025. And so when October came, they still remain there. They said they have filed a case for tenure elongation or tenure determination. If you file a case for tenure determination, you wait until the court determines that case. They still perpetrate themselves there. And so the last date, 28th January, when the case was to come up, they wrote a letter. Out of all their 10 lawyers, they said none of them could get chance for that case. So, and we now discover that in collaboration with some elements at the federal level, like the CPN, Office of the Accountant General, and the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, they are diverting the public fund to private accounts of open a UBA. And so they are now accessing the money. Using the money, they are giving the money to themselves. Whereas the attached to the local government money happen to be the salary and allowances of teachers, pensioners, health workers, so on and so forth. They didn't pay that one. They are now paying themselves money. We have documents to that effect that they pay their lawyers 13 billion naira of local government funds. Those lawyers never work for local government, and they pay 13 billion naira to them. At the same time, they pay each of their illegal chairmen 25 million naira each. They pay the 5 chairmen 12 million naira each. And each of the councillors in 332 wards, they pay them 10 million naira. And so all this, we discovered that they have equally set aside another 50 billion naira.
Honorable Commissioner,
for political reasons. So
it sounds,
we need to let the whole world know what is going on in Osun.
It sounds like a long story, right? But interestingly, there is a figure that total about 130 billion. The APC is claiming that they've had about 14 litigations on this matter. 13 of them brought in by the PDP, and that you guys lost 13. Lost 13 and won only 1. And that it is this long litigation that has hindered the disbursement of funds to the local government, and that's why the workers have not been able to get their pay. But hold on that thought. The APC is also arguing that the Supreme Court of July 2024 indeed grants full autonomy to local governments, placing their funds beyond state control. How do you reconcile the Assembly's oversight actions with that judgment without appearing to contradict it?
Thank you for this opportunity. Go and check Assembly and check the July 5 Supreme Court 2024 Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. The Supreme Court has not nullified Section 7 of the Constitution, which empowered the House of Assembly to regulate the activities of the local government. That is aside. Second one, go and check the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. You will not see it anywhere where the Supreme Court says they should allow people, illegal people, to be at the local government. Thirdly, check the entire 35 states of the Federation. The enforcement of the Supreme Court judgment has not started. Why Osun alone? Are you saying the local government autonomy is only meant for Osun alone? The learned Attorney General that approached the Supreme Court, hail from Kwara State, I stand to be contradicted. As it is today, the local government money is still being paid to the joint account in Kwara State. Okay. Our president from Lagos is the account, all the local government money in Kwara State is still being paid through the joint account. But that is not the problem. The problem is that assuming they want to enforce local government autonomy, it does not mean those people the court has sacked and the election has been nullified want to be the one to administer it. Secondly, it does not mean the signatories to the accounts. Have them whether those people that are signatories to the account are the ones recognized by law. They are throughout the country. Our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is not a signatory. Our governor in Osun State, likewise all other governors throughout the country, they are never signatory to any accounts of their respective state. How come that it is only in Osun that chairmen would not be made signatories to local government accounts?
I hear you, Mr. Alimi. Let me hear from the other side. The legal advisor to the APC in Osun State has also joined this conversation. Barrister Ogunshola, these are not vague accusations. I'm sure you've been following this conversation. We're hearing specific figures. The House of Assembly is also mentioning beneficiaries, and a commercial bank has been mentioned as well. Walk us through what is happening right now. Have local governments, I'm talking about the APC-controlled local governments, have they received these funds as being claimed by the House of Assembly? Who has access? Who is signatory? Can you shed more light on this development?
I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I'm with you.
Can you hear me now, Barrister Ogunshola?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm asking if you're saying no local government funds whatsoever has been accessed or disbursed under the APC Control Council since their reinstatement. We're having difficulties connecting with the barrister. So let me just get back to you, Mr. Alimi, quickly on this development. You have described this APC chairman as illegal, as tenorless, but there's a subsisting Court of Appeal judgment of February 10, 2025 that reinstated them. They are also back in the court for tenure determination. They are claiming that if they were chased out maybe a month into the administration, and then they got a court backing them February last year, that they are still very much within their tenure. On what specific legal basis does the state insist their tenure expired October last year?
Thank you very much. One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that we allow people to twist law. And it is quite unfortunate that we have an Attorney General of the Federation who cannot stand with the oath of his office. This problem was created by the Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN. With great respect to him, there is no law that reinstates these people. It was based on the wrong interpretation of the law by Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN. Let me now tell you, let me let the whole world know that if Prince Lateef Fagbemi, the Attorney General of the Federation, interprets anything on this issue, it's bound to be biased for the following reasons. Prince Lateef Fagbemi was the counsel to Alhaji Boye Goitola during the election petition tribunal. From the tribunal to the Supreme Court, he lost. Prince Lateef Fagbemi and Alhaji Boye Goitola happened to be colleagues at the Federal Executive Council. Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, Attorney General of the Federation, happened to be the appointee of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and APC man. Now, look at the interpretation of Prince Lateef Fagbemi, which caused the trouble in Osun. And now go and check the interpretation given to this judgment, all the 6 judgments around this case, by the Nigerian Bar Association. Nigerian Bar Association wrote a letter to Prince Lateef Fagbemi. It's in the public domain. I have a copy and I can send it to you that reveal all the cases, including the February 3rd judgment that APC yes or no chairman had no basis at local government again. And the election has been annulled. So, however, the APC are holding on to the interpretation of Prince Lateef Fagbemi. You can never see any neutral lawyer who knows his onions to say that they still have any tenure. So I want the whole world to know. We now say, assuming without considering you have a tenure. Assuming without considering you have a tenure. You stated before the Supreme Court that your tenure will come to an end on October 2025. How come you are still there? They claim they are filing a matter. If they are filing a matter, you wait until the matter is determined. Right. If you have already you started enjoying what you are asking the court to do, it made the prosecution of case superfluous, and that was the reason why they have to write a letter on the 28th when the case came up. They listed 10 lawyers, and they said none of their lawyers could get chance to come to the court, and the case was now adjourned to March 4. So nothing like February 10 that restate them. Go and read the NBA position of this thing. NBA is a neutral body.
I hear you, Mr. Alimi.
Who is an interested person. Don't ever quote February 10 judgment again, sir.
Let me attempt to get Barrister Ogushola's response to your claims. Is the legal advisor of the APC in Osun. Barrister Ogushola, you heard him say that even if this APC chairman, have tenures, it should have expired October last year. Why are they still in office?
Well, I heard all what he said so far. And I just want to begin by saying that Honorable Commissioner for Information, Osun State, Oluoma Kolapo Alimi, is just appealing to sentiments. And sentiment does not hold where you have the force of law. First, the Federal High Court of Osun State had delivered the judgments, and the judgment was against us. So the procedure is that you have to appeal if you want to appeal, and we filed our notice of appeal immediately. Then the situation should have been the governor should wait until we explore all the possibility of overturning the Federal High Court judgment that was delivered on 25th day of November 2022. But at the midnight of 27th November 2022, the governor issued executive order directing us to leave our various positions and directing the HLAs in each of the local government, the head of local government administration, to take over from us. And immediately they did that, they asked us to submit the property of the local government in our possession. We then are kicked that we are supposed to be there for the period that our appeal lasts. But the governor insisted that we have to leave at that particular position. But we continue to pursue our appeal. And fortunately for us, on the 10th day of February 2025, the Court of Appeal, Akure, overturned the decision and strike out the entire case. The meaning is that we are returned back to status quo before the case was instituted, and we have to return to our office. But the simple judgment of the court, the governor of the state and the state government were not ready to comply with the judgment. So we have to tell the whole world that we have been restated by that particular judgment. In the process of returning back to our office, one of us was assassinated in person of Remi Abbas of Irewoli local government. This was why our police were drafted in to protect the political functionaries and the property of the local government in each of the 30 local governments in the state. The PDP-led administration or Accord-led administration now was not ready at that period to comply with the judgment of the court. And we did not want our tenure to slip away from us. So we have to effect the judgment of the court by ourselves through the police support. Then the question now is the period we were sacked from office. The governor of the state and the state government appointed caretaker members to take charge of the local government, who were members or are still members of PDP or members of Accord now. We don't know which one, whether Accord or PDP, and they were there for almost a year. Thereafter, they attempted to have an election, but the election did not take place. So when we were reinstated in February, we had to approach the court to determine what happened to the period we were sacked.
All right.
So, and the law is that we have to be in the office because we won't have anything to pursue again if you leave that particular office. The law says we should put off, and we are still the legally recognized political functionaries at local government level till today.
All right.
Until our case at the federal high court is determined, and
I hear you.
our tenure is otherwise confirmed or truncated. We are
I hear
still
you.
the elected officials in the local government.
Mr. Ogushola,
to the present moment.
let me jump in quickly because we had difficulties connecting with you earlier. You're saying
I'm listening.
Yes, you're saying that the local government chairman have decided now to stay put in their offices pending the hearing at the Federal High Court. That means they have
Examination of our case.
well, that means that decision to stay now. I mean, where did you get that power from to decide to extend pending hearing in court? Did you get that backing from the court?
We have filed the application to that effect, and until the application is heard or dismissed, the law says we should be in the office.
We have to go now. We have just about 2 more minutes on the show. Precisely, can you confirm if this chairman collected 50 billion has been claimed by the House of Assembly at the time they say the workers of the local council have not been paid?
Are the facts fabricated by the laws rolled out by the House of Assembly Speaker were not true at all? It exists in their own imagination. There is nothing of such, and there is a total false, and it does not exist at all. We never appropriate to ourselves such amount of money rolled out by the Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly. Yes, we have gotten part of our salary. We have not gotten the remaining part of our salary, just because they have instituted so many cases against United Bank of Africa, one of which was instituted in Oyo State, which is extraterritorial jurisdiction. The action purportedly arose in Osun State, and they went to Oyo State to institute a case. The current one is at the Magistrate Court of Osogbo, and we have also instituted another one against the proceedings at the Magistrate Court.
All right. Mr. Ogushola, that's our time. Mr. Alimi, we have to go now in 30 seconds if you can. Where do all of these lead us, and what do you consider the way forward?
We are only pleading with Mr. President to come and curb the APC here, call them to order. Section 137 of the electoral they are trying to effect is not applicable to this kind of election. Just assuming they were allowed to be a legal election and they are allowed to be in office and continue to drag for 3 years. The intent of the law has been defeated. They are citing a law that is only applicable to election petition matters that is tenured, that will be finished within 10 months. It's not applicable, and they know that what they are doing is just mere brigandage using a federal might. He has confirmed that the police is the one hating them. We are calling on the president, we are calling on the whole world, we are calling on the civil society to make things. So the lawlessness that is going on in Osun, they are squandering the public fund. Who happen to be the signatory to those accounts? They are the ones signatory to the accounts, and they are spending the public fund without due process. I'm very sure that at the appropriate time, they will account for every penny of Osun State. That's
our time. Kolapo Alimi is the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment in Osun State. I also spoke earlier with Adigoke Ogunshola, who's legal advisor of the APC. Gentlemen, thank you so much for talking to us. We're back tomorrow with more. Remember, you can watch this conversation again at midnight